then equilibrium price 200. Simply we calculate like this way. After that, equilibrium quantity, we can substitute any other formula, the value of P. Next one, explain the impact of the above equilibrium price and quantity as a result of increasing income of consumers. Increase in income of consumers. So in this case, equilibrium price will be changed. Even quantity can be changed. We can use a diagram to explain here. Demand curve, supply curve, equilibrium price, equilibrium quantity, P, the price, origin is 0, PI labeled as Q, quantity. So demand curve, supply curve. When the income increases, consumers' income rises, demand curve shift to the right. As a result, equilibrium price of a good, equilibrium price and the equilibrium quantity can increase like this. Q, P1 and Q1, right? Your answer should be like this way. Consumers' income is a factor affecting demand. Is a factor affecting demand. First off, as the income increases, people may intend to buy many units of the good, and therefore both equilibrium price and quantity increases. Right. Then the next one, yeah, we can't do question B, but we can try question 4A. In the question 4A, price ceiling, price flow, difference between price ceiling, price flow. We understood price ceiling and price flow are government interventions. In other words, the way of controlling market prices. So the government imposes a maximum price that can be that the good can be sold in a market. Typically, price ceiling or the maximum price is added for essential items. If consumers are exploited unfairly by charging a very high price, then the government will introduce such a price ceiling. Right. Price flow, the way around, then the government introduces a price which can be sold, what do you call the price for a good that can be sold at a higher price above the equilibrium level, simply in which producers are protected, especially agriculture producers. Right. So our answer in this case like this: price ceiling is where the government introduces a maximum price level for a good that can be sold in the market full stop. Also you continue. Price ceiling is set by the government below the equilibrium price of a good in order to protect consumers first up. Then the price flow. Price flow is where the government introduces a price for a commodity that can be sold above the equilibrium price first up. Price flow is introduced for goods pricing is introduced for primary sector goods in order to protect the wealth of producers. Right, that's enough. Now that's all we can complete in this paper. This is a 2019 July paper. So the payment for use of land is called rent. Which of the following is a determinant of demand. So all the factors we understood, number of factors, firstly price of the good, price of substitute, income, taste and fashion, all the factors will determine demand of a good. Then the next question, which of the following is not a characteristic, of a, oh, sorry, we can't do it. So we are supposed to put whether true or false. Income elasticity of demand for essential good is less than 1. That is correct. Essential goods in income elasticity of demand, it is less than 1. In other words, inelastic. Others, we can't do other questions. In here, there is an inverse relationship between price and quantity demand, while other factors are being held constant. Law of demand. State 4 main economic resources, factors of production. We understood land, labor, capital, enterprise. Explain 2 of above. Land means all the natural resources involved in the production, coal, mineral, water, air. Then the labor, mental and physical energy of the workforce who are involved in the production process. Doctors, carpenters, these people, as well as capital. Capital refers to man-made. Capital means man-made resources involved in the production process or human-made things. Then it includes machines, buildings, equipments. Entrepreneurship, of course, entrepreneur means risk-taking ability, who organizes other factors of production in order to produce goods and services. Maybe sole trade. Sometimes we can say boat owner, fishing boat. So entrepreneurs. Next question, there are basic economic problems of an economy. There are for whom to produce, what to produce, in what quantity, and how to produce. So in this case, basic economic problems, we are supposed to explain each of the above economic problem is solved by market economy and planned economy. So when we come to how, for whom to produce, what to produce, and what quantity and how, we'll start with this question first. What quantity? I take firstly this one. And market economy. So the market economy solve this problem by considering relative prices. Private producers in the economy concentrate profitable good to be supplied. The scarce resources of private producers are allocated in order to make a profitable item. It is called what to produce, what quantity to be supplied. That's how capital market, or we can capitalist or this market economy solve this matter by considering relative prices, and they supply most profitable goods, most profitable products. When we come to social economy, the government concentrate requirements of the society. Then goods are supplied for the wealth of the society. Goods are supplied for the wealth of the society. Then they make goods for the everyone. That's how this problem is solved by a planned economy. The major thing is social welfare or requirements of the society. They make goods based on the requirements of the society. Next one. Secondly, I take how to produce this question. In here, about production technology. Earlier allocation of resources, right now technology is considered. So market economy concentrate cheap production technique out of capital intensive and labor intensive. They can use capital intensive or labor intensive production method. Capital intensive means using large number of machines, equipments, rather than workers or laborers. But labor intensive means large number of workers are involved than machines. Anyways, private sector concentrate cost and cheap production technique is used. That's how they solve this problem using really they concentrate cost and employ cheap production technique. But planned economy concentrate social requirement of the society. If goods are really what you call, if the technology is really essential for the society, let's say country may have a huge unemployment, then of course uh, they concentrate labor intensive production, because the government gives a priority for the society, requirements of the society. That's how this problem is solved. Based on the social requirement, a particular technology is selected. Then I concentrate for whom to produce. So actually, this is about distribution, the problem of distribution. There is a matter because income inequality can be seen. Some people have really high income, some people have really low income, sometimes middle income earners. Whatever, private producer in the market economy concentrate, or the goods are supplied for those who can afford. Actually, this problem is solved by them based on affordability. If someone can afford, of course goods are available. Actually, they concentrate the profit, therefore goods are supplied for people who can afford, in which this problem is solved in a market economy. When we come to planned economy, this problem is solved actually by using social requirement. Necessarily products are supplied for everyone. So government in here try to avoid income inequality. If income differences occur, of course, people have different purchasing power. Right now, government wants to overcome such income gaps. If income gaps are changed, or if income gaps are overcome, no matters to think for whom to produce. What do they do now? The planned economy produce goods for everyone in the society, in which we can say by reducing income inequality in the society. Right. That's how these problems are solved in each economic systems. And as usual, demand supply equilibrium price of this commodity at the equilibrium, QD equal QS. So 400 minus 2P equal minus 100 plus 3P, 100 plus 100, 2P plus 3P, 500 equal 5P equal 500 divided by 5, then P equal 100. Then the next one, QD, I take US, earlier so I took QD, minus 100 plus 3P US equal minus 100 plus 3 multiplied by 100. Then 300, then answer is 200. US equal 200. So finally, what do you write? Equilibrium price 100. Then the equilibrium quantity 200 units. Calculate the equilibrium quantity, price and quantity. Yes, we found both price and quantity. Next question, explain the reason why demand curve slopes downward. The demand curve slopes downward due to two reasons. One is income effect. Next one, substitution effect. So substitution effect and income effect is considered here. Then based on income effect, first of all, we have to say demand curve slopes downward due to the inverse relationship between price and quantity demand. It is caused by the income effect and the substitution effect. Right. Then we have to explain both. So income effect is where the change in price can lead to a real income of consumers, and therefore quantity demand is changed while other factors are held constant. As the price increases, real income falls, and therefore the quantity demand decreases, and vice versa. Then substitution effect is where the change in price can lead to a change in price. We can say relative prices, change in relative prices. As the price of a good increases, consumers may switch to other substitutes available in the market, and the quantity demand falls. Also, When the price of the good decreases, it becomes cheaper relative to other substitutes in the market, and therefore consumers are attracted. Many consumers are attracted, and quantity demand increases. That's how we explain these two effects for 3 marks. Next question, explain the concept of a consumer surplus and producer surplus with the help of a graph. In here, we are supposed to draw up a diagram. Right. So I put here is the diagram. We studied consumer surplus. Consumer surplus is the difference between the market price of a good and the price where consumer is willing to buy. So consumer surplus occurs at the area of below the demand curve and above the market price. Therefore, in the diagram, the area of A represent consumer surplus. Right. Then the producer surplus. Producer surplus is the difference between market price and the price where producer is willing to sell. Producer is willing to sell. So producer surplus occurs at the area of above the supply curve and below the demand curve, below the equilibrium price, above the supply curve and below the equilibrium price. So as a result, the area of B represent producer surplus as shown in the diagram. That's how we should explain both consumer surplus and producer surplus by using this diagram. This is a 2019 paper. It's about first question, scarcity. Scarcity is the actually resources are limited in relation to human needs, right? So answer is in this question, fourth one. If cross elasticity of demand between X and Y is positive, positive means a substitute good. we are supposed to put true or false here. Income effect is the reason of downward slope demand curve. Yes, it is true. Even right now we considered same thing. Next one, if the change in quantity demand of a commodity is equal to change in price of that commodity, the price elasticity is greater than 1. So price elasticity measures the responsiveness of percentage change in quantity demand due to the percentage change in price. Here, percentage change in quantity demand is equal to percentage change in price means not greater than 1, it is equal to 1. Therefore, this is false. It is unitary elastic. So producers plus is the difference between equilibrium price of a commodity and the price at which producer is willing to sell. Even right now we discussed, yes, it is true. Full employment of resources is underlined. Assumption of the production possibility curve, yes, it is also true. When we construct a production possibility curve, we considered number of assumptions, including full employment, only 2 products are supplied, technology is constant, factor endowment is constant. In the next one, in a mixed economy or planned economy, the government influences prices through taxes and subsidies and affect the operation of price mechanism directly and indirectly. So what does that concentrate? Mixed economy, not in the planned economy, influences taxes, subsidies, of course, price mechanism directly and indirectly. So answer is mixed economy. Right, that's all about this paper. We will do the lesson in the next week. Rest of the lesson, I will send you next chapters as well. We wind up the class from here.